What's up, guys? This is Doctor and welcome to another episode of the FPL Fantasy. I am back. The last episode, Joe did it solo because I was traveling. I hope you give him some love. You drop that like button, subscribe to our channel, and we're back with another episode for Game Week 7. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing good. I know that you said that you were traveling, but I could have sworn you were there just giving everybody the cold shoulder. I'm excited to get back in, talk Game Week 7, talk FPL with you again. Let's do this.
And before going into Game Week 7, let's see how we did in Game Week 6. Here's Joe's team. Joe, how did he do?
Did pretty good, I guess, compared to literally everyone I follow on Twitter. Pulled in 52 points, another green arrow. I've only gotten one red arrow this season, and it was a nasty red arrow, but we're clawing our way back, as most of our viewers know. Looking at my team, I am kind of faring the same as Big at the back, even though the only thing I had back there was Cancelo, but wasn't as destroying because Big at the back is still not back, I guess. Not until like the next time they do good in one game. I'm not sure. I don't know how it works. I don't own Big at the back, but you guys let me know. So, moving to my midfield, Gross, I was happy to get a return from him, but of course everybody else on the team got more returns than him. So, a lot of the Trossard owners really shot up above me because they got, I think, 12 points, where I only ended up on 5. Madison, buddy, I think you're leaving. He's just, it's not him, it's everyone around him. He's getting into good positions, he's getting good opportunities, but it is so much work for him because literally everybody else is doing whatever they feel like for the whole 90 minutes of the game. So we'll talk about transfers in 2 segments. And then up front, my man Tony, he came good. I had 2 game weeks, I believe, where I brought him in. He ended up blanking for me. This 3rd game week gets a hat trick because that's all people in my team know how to do is just get hat tricks. Ask Holland. He's going for his 3rd this week. And Holland, my man, 18 points. Love it. It was a good team. I wish I would have put Trippier in. I wish I would have put Nico in. Would have gotten me a few more points. But ultimately, this is where I'm at. And we'll talk about the consequences of not having those 2 in when we look at my team later.
It's a great team, and if you remember on Saturday, your Tony outscored my whole team. That like I think 50% of my team have played, and Tony outscored them all. It was like a terrible game week. I even tweeted on Friday before the game week this, and I'll put it on the screen right now. This game week will be a low-scoring one. I just had this gut feeling. Most of the team was playing away. The big teams were unlikely to keep clean sheets, so it was bad for Big at the back, and Arsenal were playing Man United. Most people have 3 Arsenal, and Man United were like rejuvenated, if that's even a word. So, yeah, I think you've done absolutely great. You jumped to 475k
Uh,
from 690k. That's a beautiful jump. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Moving on to my team, as I mentioned, when Saturday games finished, I was like on 12 points. Tony outscored all of my team. I had like the Liverpool boys when Klopp decided to take off Trent on the 58th minute and bring Robertson in. So whoever had had a Liverpool defense didn't enjoy that clean sheet versus Everton. Chelsea conceded, yellow cards galore, controversial match. It was a nice match to watch, but very controversial when it comes to VAR. So as you see, my defense is like that. The upside is my transfer kind of worked because I took out Walker and I brought Nico Williams, and Nico Williams outscored Walker for that match. The reason I did that transfer because to prepare me for game week 7 and game week 8, have some money in the bank. And the rest is the same. Haaland outscored Salah when it comes to captaincy. He was like 190% in some of the leagues. I think Elite 1000 or Elite 64. It was like 190%. Salah wasn't that as high as we thought he was gonna be. He was high, but again, I was happy because a lot of people, I was very happy with Haaland outscoring Salah, and I had some friends. I had some. I don't know if you know that meme. I'll put it on the screen now. I had some friends who had Salah captain, so it was nice to see like overtaking them and a bit of let's say, a differential Haaland versus them, which is funny to say.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, big at the back was a tough strategy to swallow this week. I mean, Nico Williams, the guy that you brought in for Walker, almost outscored the rest of your defense. Holland, I mean, the dude's a monster. Apparently, the Premier League is way easier than the Bundesliga, and you made the right choice.
Thank you. Let's move on to game week 7. And the first topic we have to talk about is Manchester United. Manchester United team is exciting now. We are back for the next game week at least. Let's hope so. And we have a lot of assets that are interesting. Who are you looking at, Joe?
I'd probably look at Rashford and probably Sancho right now. Not really interested in the defense because I don't trust them 100% yet. I think the two center backs, Martinez and Varane, it's definitely the right way to go for Manchester United, and use Maguire as like a 10-minute sub to go out there and like hit somebody or give a charity goal to the other team. That's fine. You can go ahead and do that. And the forward line, Anthony is possibly a option. Well, I guess he's a midfield in FPL, and hopefully Martial comes back because he always comes good when he gets time and he plays, so he could be interesting. But I think you're really sitting around those three players aside from Martial that are going to probably benefit you the most. I would like Bruno Fernandes. He's coming back into his form. Ronaldo's not playing, so his kryptonite isn't in the team, so he can get more points. But I want to see a little more consistency and a little more delivery on points. And then Bruno started at like 10 million, so now he's 9.8, and I don't know, that still seems pretty steep. That's the one thing that's still steering me off of Sterling, is he's returned 2 games, and I don't know, but when do you stop returning? I don't want it to be the week I brought you in.
Yeah, and also you're speaking about Sterling. 1 hour before recording this episode, Tuchel was sacked, and it will affect my transfers, as we're gonna see in the next segment. It affects a lot of things because it affects Chelsea and it affects Brighton, and we're gonna talk about it soon. Regarding Manchester United, you are discarding or you don't want to go into their defense. I think if I'm wildcarding today, game week 8, game week 9, I think Dalot will almost definitely be in my team. He's just a great value. Yeah, it seems like Ten Hag is not convinced with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I believe that he was supposed also to go on a transfer or on a loan. There might be some risk, but Dalot can be a great bench option because you can bring him in the easy games, and you can bench him on the tough games because he's only 4.5. You also have Malacia at 4.4, so you have those options. Maybe Malacia's attacking return possibility is low. That's why I prefer Dalot because he goes forward. And if you notice in our game versus Arsenal basically played on Dalot's side. Even Martinelli's goal that was VAR'd out or ruled out, it was on Dalot's side. Arsenal were playing on basically Dalot going forward, Martinelli just outpace him on the right hand side. So Dalot goes forward more. So I think he's an option. When it comes to the midfield, if Rashford is fit, we're recording this on Wednesday. We will know on Thursday when we play Real Sociedad in the Europa League. We will know more news, but it seems like so far he hasn't been in training. We didn't see him in any of the pictures, but I think Rashford is a target for me in game week 8 when we play Leeds. Sancho is a great option. Anthony is a great option. So let's see. Martial is still injured. Let's see when he comes back. So I think we have a lot of options emerging from Manchester United, which I'm happy to see because it will be nice watching my team play, hoping they actually win and have players in FPL from them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be nice to actually enjoy to some extent watching Manchester United again, rather than like, all right, these guys are going to get beat up. But I think one of the things that we can also take from this is, I'm not saying they're going to do the full 180, but look at Arsenal last year. Arsenal started off on an absolute stinker. Everybody was ragging on them, myself included, like, oh, hey, they're going to get relegated. And look at them now. They're at the top of the table. I know it's the beginning of the year, but they're at the top of the table right now. They bought into the system. everything started to gel. Hopefully, for United's sake, that's what happens under Ten Hag.
Yeah, I could see like you have to believe in the team, build on it, build on it, build on it, and as you see, you can see it's relatively working for Arsenal. So if they finish top four, it was a great strategy this season. Moving on to our next topic, we have two more topics, which is captaincy and wildcard. Which one would you want to start with, Joe?
Let's do captaincy. Let's get the gritty one out of the way.
Who are you captaining, Joe?
I am probably going to end up captaining Haaland. Honestly, he's got a tough fixture against Tottenham, but as a Tottenham fan, I know that we give everybody a 1 goal credit at the start of the game. So somebody has to score that goal on City, and who better than the man that's on a frickin' tear in the Premier League, Haaland. I think that is probably how it's going to go. And yes, you do have Salah playing Wolves. I can see Salah getting a goal there, but I would almost bet on Haaland getting a goal against Tottenham, where Salah I'm kind of 50-50 on. Now, obviously, Salah can go and get a brace and more, not necessarily knowing if Haaland would be able to do that, but I feel like for myself, it's a sure bet that Haaland at least gets one solid return, and if my captain can guarantee me a return, I'm going to bet probably on the sure thing more than the opposite. Now, Salah is my vice in case Haaland does get rested, because there's rest looming at some point for Haaland, but we're not really sure where, so I have that out there. Yes, he might come on, but the man is big, strong. I love Perisic. I love Dyer. I love the whole back line. I love Lloris. But Haaland's a bully, and if he comes on as a freshly rested bully with 15 minutes to do whatever he wants, oh no. That's where I'm at with captaincy, Doc. How about you?
It's very funny because usually I decide my captaincy like the week before. As soon as the deadline finishes, the game updates, I go to my team tab and I just decide who's my captaincy is. And I kind of, more often than not, I stick with that captaincy. For the first game week, since probably the beginning of the season, I'm not sure who I want to captain. Let me explain why. If I didn't know anything about ownership, effective ownership, and how things go, I would probably captain Jesus. At the moment, I'm between Salah and Jesus. Haaland is in third pick, which is crazy to say, especially after he scored again last night in the Champions League. Haaland is in great form. He's bullying everybody. The Premier League hasn't figured out how to stop him, so he's bullying everybody. But I usually, when it comes to captaincy, I like to go for an upside, right? What's more likely to happen? Jesus is playing at home versus Everton, one of the worst defenses in the league this season, last season. So if he starts at home, I think he will score well. But it's always scary to bet against the whole crowd having Haaland. Actually, my vice is Jesus. My current captain is Salah because I don't like looking at what happened before. I captained Haaland the past 2 game weeks, worked magic, but I'd like to look at the game week after. What are the future returns? And I think Salah is slightly more likely to return big than Haaland versus Tottenham, because Tottenham might figure out a way to stop Haaland, although historically it's always like 2-2, 3-2 between Tottenham and Man City, as you mentioned. So Haaland can go crazy this match. I'm not sure. I think I'll leave it till like deadline FOMO and I will decide who's my captaincy. But it's currently on Salah for a bit. It's like a middle, let's say, a middle answer between my thoughts, between my doubts. Like I want to captain Jesus, but Haaland is, I think he will be less likely to hold. So it's like on Salah, but I have a feeling I might go brave this game week and go Jesus. I try not to let effective ownership decide my choices for captaincy, but it's there. It's in the subconscious.
I like it. Let's play risky, Doc.
Something happened when you went solo on this channel. Something happened. We switched. So moving on to our last topic to discuss: when are you planning to wildcard? Because your wildcard, actually, if you decide to wildcard game week 8, it will change kind of the transfers that you need to make versus game week 9, which is the second most popular, or let's say the other popular choice, and there is also game week 12. For many reasons, a lot of content creators on Twitter, on YouTube mentioned kind of the pros and cons for going for each. So you need to make a final decision kind of this week if you want to wildcard game week 8 or game week 9 or game week 12, because it's going to affect this week's decisions. If you're going to wildcard game week 8, it's a good opportunity to punt on someone now on game week 7, just for a 1 week punt before wildcarding in game week 8. If not, you look at 2 game weeks and you punt next game week and then you wildcard game week 9. If you wildcard game week 12, then you need to plan your transfers up to game week 12. Joe, what do you think?
Well, the wild card is burning a hole in my pocket. As you know, I've had plenty of conversations almost every week after game week 2. I'm like, I think I'm on a wild card. What's this team look like to you? How does it feel? But here I am with a wild card chip still in pocket. I think the rational thing is to do game week 12 because there are some fairly difficult fixtures that you can navigate around, especially in game week 12. But the issue that I had when I was looking at the schedules is, at least for myself, it doesn't seem like there's, a difficult real run of fixtures. It seems like for the most part they're very broken up. And now sometimes it's hard to do on the Premier League site because they still have Leicester rated as not the maroon but the red, the level before it, and I'm like, no, you're wrong. This is a completely wrong rating. You're not going to trap me like this. So it's leaning closer to 12, but I will have a wildcard team every single week leading up to game week 12 probably. And who knows, if there's a good enough team, I might just pop it in 8, or because I don't really listen to the pack and I kind of do whatever the heck I want, I might pop it this game week right before the deadline. I might do it in 10. The world may never know. What about you, Doc?
Between 8 or 9, I'm looking at the fixture swings. There is a crazy fixture swing in game week 9. You want to get rid of some of your Arsenal boys. You want to get rid of some of the Chelsea boys. You want to bring on a lot of differentials. So I think game week 8 or 9 is the answer for me. I need to decide this game week what I want to do, and I'm currently leaning to game week 9 because Arsenal has Brentford away in game week 8. Chelsea are playing Liverpool. So in game week 8, if you can get those punts in, if you think Arsenal are going to do well versus Brentford, you just wildcard game week 9. I think I've narrowed it down to those 2 criteria. Let me repeat this. If you think Arsenal are going to do well versus Brentford, and if you can get rid of some of the Chelsea boys or the Liverpool boys in game week 8, then you just wildcard game week 9. If you think not, you just wildcard game week 8. This is what I think. This is what I believe. This is how I narrowed it down because I need to decide this game week if I'm going to wildcard or not game week 8 and game week 9. And I think I'm leaning game week 9 because I think I have 2 free transfers as well. So if I roll one of them this game week to game week 8, I can take 2 punts and then wildcard game week 9. It comes after international break. It's been talked to death. So I don't want to really bore you with that. But I'm leaning game week 9 myself at the moment. I might wake up tomorrow and decide it's game week 8, but for now, because of those reasons, it's game week 9 for me.
Yeah, and I want to mention that your Chelsea or Liverpool, you could dump some of the Chelsea or Liverpool boys. That doesn't make any sense to me. All I have is Salah between the 2 teams.
Yeah, that works for your team. For my team, I have 5 players in that fixture, and you don't want to have 5 players in that fixture. So probably I'll get rid of 2 next game week, and at least 2, let's say, next game week. I might get rid of 1 this game week. But we will talk about the team selection in the next segment. Speaking of the next segment, let's move on and see Joe's team and Joe's transfer plans for game week 7. Joe, what are you planning to do?
I don't know. Something, possibly. I think right now my thoughts are Madison out for possibly a United player. That's kind of where I'm living. I'd like to bring in Rashford. I don't know if it's going to be viable if he's injured. Yeah, I don't know about transfers right now. I'm not the type of person that's going to burn one. Shame on all of you that burnt your transfers. Shame on all of you. But I only have 1 in the bank right now, so I got some time before I have to worry about burning a transfer. What's that, Doc?
If I may interject here, Leicester have Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa are playing terribly. Leicester are playing probably worse, but yeah, like I wouldn't take Madison out. I would give him one last chance versus Aston Villa at home and pray that he will return. Rashford is playing Crystal Palace away, and you know my feelings from this. Again, for almost every episode I mention Crystal Palace. I love the team and how they defend and everything. So I wouldn't do this transfer this game week, Joe. Do you have any other alternative?
No. Yeah. No. Nah.
You might as well roll if you can.
That was my thought, is if I can switch Madison to somebody that I feel more confident in, even though it's like Villa are like 18th and Leicester are like 20th on the table. If I can switch to somebody that I have more confidence in, sure, great, I'll do it. If not, I'll probably roll my transfer. One of the crazy things that I don't remember if I sent you my team before recording, but one of the crazy things that everybody is seeing right now is I have Perisic and Cancelo on the bench. That's my 1 and 2 slot. So the general thought here is they both are probably going to give up 2 goals. Cancelo has not been getting in very attacking positions. Yes, I think he got an assist or 2 assists in the Champions League, but there's players that do great in the Champions League that don't transition it over to the Premier League just because they're facing different skills and different styles in the Champions League than in the Prem. So I don't have faith that Cancelo is going to get me a clean sheet, and I don't really have faith that he's going to actually get attacking returns since he only has, I think, 1 on the season. Maybe 2. I think he got an assist also. And then Perisic, I think, is probably more likely to get attacking returns. That's why he's in my 1. Once again, though, he's not going to get a clean sheet, so he's not on the field. And I can see Perisic, because it feels like, especially this year, Tottenham are using their wings to generate attacking opportunities into Kane, into Kulu, not into Son because he's still on vacation for a couple more weeks, I think. At least it feels that way. And then City, basically, it feels like any goal that runs through the actual top with Haaland, that's coming through their midfielders. That's coming through. And yeah, Stone's got a header, but that's completely different. That's 1 out of Haaland's 300 goals. So that's kind of where I feel. It's going to play probably through Foden and then into Haaland or one of those midfielders in there. What's up, Doc?
I understand benching Perisic because Perisic is probably going to play tonight in the Champions League. So probably Sessegnon will start in the league. Conte might want to have Perisic's experience in the league versus Man City. So he might start as well. But I understand why you would bench him. I wouldn't bench Cancelo though. Cancelo played, probably he got his attacking returns. He plays different when he's on the right back position. And when Walker's out and Walker's injured and we don't know if he's going to be back, I think Cancelo, with that also amount of money invested in him, I wouldn't bench him.
But I like having 50 million on my bench.
Yeah, that's very smart. Inflation will eat that.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to note before we head on over to your team is everybody check my overall points and check my rank. All right, 390 and then just over 475,000. All right, Doc, if you're ready for your team.
Yeah, let's move on to my team.
All right, so the thing that I was mentioning is, look, Doc's overall points is 392. That's 2 points more than me, and he's almost 100,000 ahead of me. That's how tight we still are in the beginning of this season. It's ridiculous. There's people that are like 5 points ahead of me that are sitting like right at the line of like 150,000. Don't give up yet. It's still super tight. You can have one person just get 2 points where another person got 0 points, and you'll blow up the rank, and it's ridiculous right now. I'm sorry, Doc. Go on with your team. I just had to mention that. A little hope for everyone.
Thanks, Joe. And as I mentioned, the surprising sacking of Tuchel kind of changed my plans because the original plan was to bring Brighton players and probably get rid of Chelsea players, but things have changed. Hey, I'm just gonna pause here. This is the doc during the editing. While I'm editing, I just saw a tweet that Brighton versus Crystal Palace might be postponed in game week 8, so this changes a bit of the plans. We will see how this story develops, but if it is postponed, that probably changes my team selection, and I would be wary of this. Now you can see on the screen the tweet that I've just seen. So good luck everybody within the next game week, and let's get back to the episode. The original plan was probably use my 2 free transfers or use one and roll the other for some nice punts for the next game week before I wildcard, as I mentioned in the wildcard section. So originally the plan was like kind of Cucurella to Trippier and my Da Silva to Gross, and then bring Gross instead of Nico Williams, as you can see on the screen now. But things have changed. Cucurella didn't start last night. if Graham Potter, who's probably going to be the next manager for Chelsea, we are hearing news that he's already traveling to London to discuss if he's going to manage Chelsea. The second option, I think, is Pochettino. So if Graham Potter moves to Chelsea, he loves Coquerella, of course. He sold them to them. So probably Coquerella becomes a great option again. So I might not sell him. So the current plan I have in my mind, despite all this, is probably Gross in for Da Silva and just roll the other transfer. Nico Williams drops to the bench. I think Nico Williams has a good chance that he get attacking returns versus Leeds, but I don't think he will keep a clean sheet. I think they will concede at least two, so I don't want to take maybe that risk. Cucurella stays in the team probably for now. I will keep tinkering tonight, tomorrow, seeing how Champions League goes. But I have two free transfers. I have 1.8 million in the bank, so I can almost do anything. I was thinking to bring in Rashford somehow this game week, but I don't think we'll do that great versus Crystal Palace. And I want him for Leeds next game week. So next game week we're going to discuss about my plans. I have already prepared a plan what I want to do for next game week, which includes Rashford in, some Liverpool boys out, some Chelsea boys out. We will see how it goes. But for now, it's probably going to be Da Silva to Gross for me.
Here's something to. I know it won't affect you because you know what you like, you go with it. But some of the people that are watching, I'll mess with their heads a little bit. Do you think James and Cucurella can get attacking returns? Because they're playing Mitrovic, and that boy will wipe out that clean sheet in 25 minutes.
That's what actually I totally agree with that. I think Mitrovic will definitely, if not Fulham, will definitely score versus Chelsea. At least when Tuchel was a manager, so we don't know what's the dynamics now. If Graham Potter comes and the first thing he does, let's assure that defense. I want my clean sheet. Forget scoring for now, and then you have a nice assets. But regardless of that, I still think Fulham will score. Yeah, so I'm depending on attacking returns. Yeah, I don't disagree with you actually.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chelsea fans. Let's go to Real. Let's get Rudiger back in the team. Let's shore up that center back position. Let's do this thing. Let's make our options viable again. I know you had talked about possibly moving your captaincy around. I think Salah is a good captaincy. I think that's actually going to be the leading captaincy. I think Holland will be second. I don't think it'll be as close as we think necessarily because I feel like there's a lot of people that are very sure on Wolves right now that they'll be able to concede for Salah. But I did like your Jesus shout out. Love the vice on him. I think it's interesting. It's daring. It's ballsy. It kind of counters that boring at the back. So if you do that, I'm in full support. I'm your biggest fan.
Well, for the people who keep skipping ahead in video and saying like, okay, let's see Joe's team, let's see Doc's team. The reason I have captaincy currently on Salah and Jesus as a vice captain is explained in the captaincy section before earlier. We talked about the captaincy options. So I had my arguments there for this option. My favorite is Jesus, but I'm kind of too scared to do it. But I think Haaland will be overwhelmingly captained. So if that's even a word.
Yeah.
So I think Haaland, I might disagree with you here. I think Haaland will be, majority people will captain Haaland at home versus Tottenham. Second will be Salah. Probably third will be Jesus. So I'm totally going against the crowd if I go Jesus. I'm very worried about it. I still haven't decided, but let's see how this game week goes.
I completely get that. All right, Doc. I love the team. You still don't have Henderson in it. You still have James. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So everybody, don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to drop a thumbs up, subscribe. Majority of our audience are not subscribers, which is crazy. Just subscribe. It's free. It's one button press. It really shows us support. We enjoy it. We're doing it anyways. So drop a thumbs up, share us your transfers, share us your teams, share with us in the comments below what do you think and what do you think we can improve kind of in those episodes in this channel, what you like, what you don't like, because we reply to every comment, we see every single comment, so we appreciate you. Joe, would you like to say goodbye to our audience?
Yeah, I would like to say, in addition to Doc talking about making sure you like and subscribe, the biggest thing that you can do for us is share. Share to your friends, share to your family, share to your neighbors, share to the random guy that you hate. And either you love our content, which we appreciate, let us know, or you hate our content and you just like to meme us, in which case, great, let us know. Make sure you share with everybody. The memes are for the world.
All right, everybody. We'll see everybody on the next episode.
All right, see
Peace.
y'all. Let's get these points.